In a previous interview, you talked about struggling throughout the season. So what changed and how are you able to turn the page so that the end of the season went a lot better?
Lexie Hull was on the brink of being forgotten at the start of the 2024 season. Drafted 6th overall in 2022, the former collegiate star struggled to find her place with the Indiana Fever under then-coach Christy Sides. The once promising national champion found herself on the bench, watching as others took her minutes. Fans questioned if she would ever live up to her potential.
So you have basketball in your genes. Your grandfather played basketball, your dad, and you have a twin sister who you played basketball with growing up. What was it like growing up in that family dynamic?
Well, we have a super competitive family, and having my dad play basketball collegiately, knew that basketball was going to be put in my hands at an early age, but my parents were, super excited about having us try every sport imaginable. So yeah, we grew up, my sister and I, playing a little bit of everything.
Then Caitlin Clark arrived, a superstar sensation whose electrifying playstyle shook up the WNBA. Clark didn't just change the Fever's offense, she changed everything.
I think it was important to get to know her off the court because I do think that, connections, getting to know people really play a part in the success of teams.
From team chemistry to individual performances. Her presence created a ripple effect that was felt by everyone, especially Lexie.
She's been called the clutch player by WNBA fans, and she was drafted to the W in 2022 with the Indiana Fever in the first round as the 6th pick. I'm talking about professional basketball player Lexie Hull.
In a recent interview with She's for Sports and the Dunker Spot, Lexie opened up about what happened behind the scenes and how Clark's leadership transformed her trajectory. What emerged was a story of redemption, camaraderie, and one of the most inspiring turnarounds in the WNBA.
At the beginning of the season, my playing time definitely looked different than it did at the end. So trusting that, I was staying ready, putting in the work so that when I did get the minutes out on the court, that I could take full advantage of them. So I was just really proud of myself for trusting the process and staying the court.
The 2024 season couldn't have started worse for Lexie Hull. Drafted 6th overall in 2022, she had been a key figure on Stanford's national championship team. Yet, just 2 years into her WNBA career, she found herself sitting on the bench, watching as players like Katie Lou Samuelson and Christy Wallace played ahead of her.
The basketball part of the transition is really tough. Everybody out on the court was one of the best players on their college teams, definitely the best player likely from their high school team. So it's just this mishmash of the best basketball players, and then you're playing against people that have been there for years and years.
The mental adjustment from being a college star to fighting for a role in the WNBA.
We're just sick that we had lost so many games, and also feeling like we were better than that
was challenging. To make matters worse, the Fever was struggling as a team, opening the season with a dismal 1-8 record. Fans were growing impatient, and locker room criticism about the team's rotations, defensive lapses, coaching, and lack of chemistry dominated headlines. Players were left to navigate a storm of doubt and frustration.
My role is just getting to the open spots, and we have such a good offense that people find the open person. So to be that open person, you get excited. You get excited for the opportunity to shoot and score and be part of the momentum.
Lexie poured herself into practice, refining her cutting and shooting to capitalize on any opportunity that might come her way. She also credited her teammates for keeping her inspired.
Off of Caitlin Clark, Kelsey Mitchell, and Aaliyah Boston.
I mean, they make my job really easy, right? It's awesome. And it's really cool to see all of them just grow, not only from this year, but playing 3 years with Kelsey, 2 years with Aaliyah. They're so impressive.
Enter Caitlin Clark, the phenom whose arrival was nothing short of seismic for the Indiana Fever. Known for her jaw-dropping highlights and fiery competitiveness, Clark stepped into a locker room desperate for a spark. And spark it she did. From the moment Clark joined the team, the atmosphere changed. Fans were buzzing, ticket sales surged, and practices became electric. "We play against guys in practice," Hull said, laughing. "If they're not winning, Caitlin's gonna do everything she can to make sure they're competing."
I mean, I definitely got passes and tried to finish when I wasn't expecting to get the ball. So like now it's like, okay, every cut I have, every cut I make, every fast break I run, like I have a real opportunity to get the ball, which definitely like took me a second. And I think it really just took one of those to really get my head around like, oh, she's all the way down at the other end of the floor and she could still make the pass to me down at the block at this end. So, I mean, it's been awesome.
Energy wasn't just for show. It carried over into games where Clark's ability to read defenses and deliver passes into tight windows transformed the Fever's offense. Suddenly, players like Hull found themselves wide open.
It's so fun to be able to know that you're not just cutting to cut, knowing that you're cutting with the possibility of like actually making a really cool play. So that makes it that much more worthwhile.
Where success and scrutiny go hand in hand. As the Fever continued to gain traction, their transformation became a testament to the power of unity and perseverance. With Caitlin Clark leading the charge, Lexie Hull and her teammates found themselves not just competing, but thriving in the spotlight.
She sees the game at a bigger scale, obviously with the platform that she's created for herself, and then that's transitioned to the game. It's huge. And I think like for me, especially as a point guard and as someone that's delivering a lot of the passes that lead to shots, like if I miss, she's definitely going to say like, you got the next one. Like I can count on her for keeping me like confident and positive. So yeah, I think that shows the player that she is and the leader she is as a point guard.
Hull recalled how the Fever's practices evolved from mere drills to high-stakes battles where every player pushed each other to excel. Clark's competitive spirit was infectious, and it quickly raised the bar for everyone. As the team began to gel, their offense transformed into a cohesive, dynamic force. The game becomes so much more fun when you know you're cutting with a real chance to make a play, Hull said, referring to the team's successes building on the climax of the Fever's practices on whom was dependent the fortune of the team. For the Fever, Clark wasn't just a rookie, she was a game changer.
Really awesome to get to know her as well because, you know, she's a great person, but you have all these expectations put on her and our team has put on her and fans have put on her. So to see her kind of be so mature in that transition, it's been really awesome. And I'm just really proud to, have her on the team.
But was Clark's arrival enough to turn the season around? That answer would unfold over the following weeks. The Fever's journey from chaos to chemistry didn't happen overnight. It was the work they put in during practices, intense scrimmages, and team-building efforts that truly made the difference. Coaches began to notice the team's growing resilience as the Fever's practices became more than just drills. They were battles. From those battles, an identity emerged, and Lexie Hull began to see her own personal shift as well.
The Indiana Fever had a history-making year. What was that like for you to be a part of that?
Really grateful for the opportunity to not only play in the WNBA, but to be on a team like the Indiana Fever. I've seen so much growth, not only on the team side, how we're performing on the court, but also the growth in fans. I mean, on the road, it felt like home games. We're playing in sold-out arenas that we have not played in the last 2 years before that. So, I mean, it's just really exciting.
During the Olympic break, Hull focused on refining her cuts and improving her shooting consistency. "We had a full month of practice," she explained. "Seeing my percentages improve gave me the confidence I needed." By the time the second half of the season rolled around, Hull was no longer just a bench player. She had become an integral part of the Fever's offense. Clark's ability to draw defenders opened up lanes for players like Hull to make cuts and find open shots. As Hull's shooting percentages climbed, so did her confidence, and she started making key plays in crucial moments, helping the Fever gain momentum.
I think one thing that our coaches did during that break, I mean, we had a full month of practice pretty much during the Olympic break, and they would put up every day after practice our shooting percentages from 2s and 3s during drills, during scrimmages, during everything. And I think that helped me because, some people will probably like, it's so annoying, whatever, but I personally liked.
As the Fever started winning games, the impact of their newfound chemistry was undeniable. "We never turned on each other," Hull shared. emphasizing the unity that helped the team navigate tough times. Fans took notice, packing arenas and flooding social media with support.
Numbers don't lie, unfortunately, and they're very drastic. My first 2 years, I was just so upset because I was putting in so much work, and my shooting percentages, I would granted get like 1 or 2 at the max threes a game. So it's hard to be super efficient when the pressure is really on for those couple shots. But the numbers don't lie, so it really allows you to look at improvements and really shoot for goals and keep yourself accountable.
The Fever, once a struggling team, had become playoff contenders. Hull spoke about the energy the team felt playing in front of sold-out crowds. Playing in front of a sold-out crowd at home gave us energy we hadn't felt in years, she said. The social media buzz around the Fever grew, and fans rallied around the team, creating a renewed sense of pride in Indianapolis. The team's transformation was more than just a comeback story. It was a statement about what they were capable of achieving.
All of these people were supporting me this whole time, and I didn't know that they were supporting me until that moment. So you kind of forget that there's these people behind the scenes until they come out of the woodwork and say I've been following along this whole time. I'm so proud of you. And that just feels so good to know that there's such a community behind everybody on our team, even when you don't hear it every day.
With Clark leading the charge and Hull finding her stride, the Fever didn't just make the playoffs. They were aiming to redefine what they could accomplish. The question now was how far they could go and how long this unity could hold as expectations mounted.
You and Erica Wheeler started swapping outfits, so where did that idea come from?
Our styles are so drastically different. So we were just joking, I wonder what it would look like if you could pull it off. And the first outfit was something so outside of what I would have ever picked out of my closet. And they're that's not going to look good on me. I'm all right, let's try. So then I tried it on and everyone was you pull it off, you pull it off. So then it just became part of the pregame tradition. And it's a really fun, lighthearted way to just, get us.
The Fever's rise wasn't just felt on the court. It also transformed their lives off it. For players like Lexie Hull, the newfound fame brought excitement, but also unexpected challenges. Grocery store runs in Indianapolis turned into mini meet and greets, and the pressure of being in the spotlight wasn't always lighthearted. The constant stream of feedback on social media was both motivating and overwhelming. Yet, despite the emotional toll of fame, the Fever leaned on each other to stay grounded. The team built a culture of support and accountability, shielding one another from the outside noise.
Walking through the grocery store in Indianapolis and trying to just go get some groceries and someone fist bumps me and says, "Go Fever." That's just a really cool environment, and it shows, the dedication of the fans and the fandom in the city. So that part's been awesome.
In the locker room, the focus remained on growth and camaraderie rather than external pressures. Through it all, the Fever learned to embrace the spotlight without losing their identity. For Hull and her teammates, the season became about more than just basketball. It was about learning to thrive in a world where success and scrutiny go hand in hand.
Hard. It's easy to say, yeah, don't read it. But everybody does a little bit. And I think it's having that support system to help keep you on track.
The Indiana Fever's journey this season has been nothing short of extraordinary. From a rocky start,
biggest thing is finding people to kind of get you out of that cycle and get you to thinking about the positive things you did, even though a lot of times people online aren't talking about the positive things.
To becoming one of the most talked about teams in the WNBA, they've demonstrated that resilience, teamwork, and unwavering belief can overcome even the toughest challenges. The transformation of Lexie Hull was a key piece of the puzzle. Her ability to seize every opportunity and improve consistently played a crucial role in the Fever's turnaround.
The fact that people are talking about the WNBA, people are tuning in to our games, that's what we want to hear, and that's only going to get us farther as we go on.
But it wasn't just Hull's hard work that sparked this resurgence. Caitlin Clark's leadership, on and off the court, was the catalyst the team needed. Clark isn't just a star player, she's a force that elevates everyone around her. As Hull herself put it, the Fever's success wasn't just about wins and losses, it was about redefining the team's identity. The energy in the arenas, the buzz around the fan base, and the culture of trust and accountability within the team have all set the Fever on a path to sustained success. We're not just playing for ourselves, we're playing for something bigger, Hull said, emphasizing how much the team has grown together.
I think it's moving in a good direction. I think that it's because it's more competitive and there's more eyes on it. The pool of coaches that we can choose from, I think, will only get bigger and bigger. I think we're going to have great coaches coming up, and just excited to see, what those eras look like. Like, it's unpredictable at this point, but excited to, talk about it in a year from now.
Looking ahead, the Fever's future is filled with limitless potential. With Clark leading the charge, Hull playing at the top of her game, and stars like Aaliyah Boston and Kelsey Mitchell on the roster, the Fever are no longer just contenders. They are a force to be reckoned with. But this is just the beginning. They've shown they can overcome adversity and thrive in high-pressure situations, proving their resilience as a team. The real question now is, can the Fever take the next step and cement their place among the WNBA's elite? Only time will tell, but with their current trajectory, the team is poised for a bright future. What do you think? Where will the Fever end up next season? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you never miss out. Click the video on the screen, and we'll see you in the next one.